So the next is our conceptual framework. There are three variables that make up this research, namely controlled variables, independent variables, and dependent variables. We understand that controlled variables are components that we as researchers seek to keep constant throughout our research so that we do not impact the findings. In our study, the controlled variables are the residents of Purok 3 and 6 Fort Puyuhon, Butuan City, who are residents of the chosen barangay since they were one of the barangays with poor vaccine acceptance rate according to DOH Butuan City. We need to control these variables as much as possible, which particularly because the residents of Purok 3 and 6 Port Puyuhon have a significant potential to influence the researchers' conclusions. We are able to establish strong internal validity for the study in this manner. Then, an independent variable is one that stands alone, as the name implies. It is a cause variable, and it is thought that it has a direct influence on the dependent variable. The association between age, gender, educational background, income, medical condition, and the marital status, and also the reluctance of the residents of Purok 3 and 6 Port Puyuhon to participate in the immunization program are the independent factors. We will determine if the listed independent variables have a correlation to the factors influencing vaccination reluctance among residents of Barangay Port Puyuhon. The values do not change as a result of the influence of any other variable, for we will modify or identify the independent variable in order to assess its influence on other variables. Similarly, as the name implies, a dependent variable is dependent on other factors, which is the independent and the controlled variables. The variable being investigated is the hesitation of the vaccination campaign in residents of Purok 3 and 6 Port Puyuhon, Butuan City, and the findings or outcome will be the result of the survey. The outcome will be measured to determine how other factors affect the value of a dependent variable. And then next is our research paradigm. As what I've mentioned earlier, in our study, the controlled variables are the residents of Purok 3 and 6 Fort Puyuhon, Butuan City, who are residents of the chosen barangay. Then next, these are the associated factors of vaccine hesitancy, which is between age, gender, educational background, income, medical condition, marital status, and the reluctance of the residents of Purok 3 and 6 Port Puyuhon, Butuan City to participate in the immunization program are the independent factors. Then lastly, the variable being investigated is the hesitation of the vaccination campaign in residents of Purok 3 and 6 Fort Puyuhon, Butuan City, and the findings or outcome will be the result of the survey. And then the outcome will be measured to determine how other factors affect the value of a dependent variable. So next will be our behaviors of respondents. So in figure 1, it shows the behaviors of 104 participants in Barangay Fort Puyuhon, Porac 3 and 6 in terms of their level of concern. According to the graph, 78 respondents are very concerned about the COVID-19 vaccination, followed by 15 respondents who are somewhat concerned, 6 respondents who are slightly concerned, and 5 respondents who are not at all concerned about the COVID-19 vaccine. Next slide is the following figure illustrates the behaviors of the 104 Barangay Port Puyuhon Purok 3 and 6 participants. Again, in terms of their level of concern. The graph with the question of the current situation of the pandemic, which is number of COVID cases, we have 77 respondents say that they are very concerned about the number of COVID-19 cases, followed by 19 respondents who are somewhat concerned, 8 respondents who are a little concerned, and no respondents who are not concerned about the number of patients who got COVID-19. Next, in the graph shown in Figure 3, we can see that 42 respondents are very concerned about the effectiveness of the vaccines, followed by 41 respondents who are somewhat concerned, and then 17 respondents who are slightly concerned, and 3 respondents who are not concerned about the effectivity of the COVID-19 vaccines. Next is the graph displayed in Figure 4. You can see that 57 respondents are extremely concerned about their involvement in the implementation of the COVID-19 vaccine, followed by 26 respondents who are somewhat concerned, and then 17 respondents who are slightly concerned, and 4 respondents who are not concerned about the implementation of COVID-19 vaccines. The next, Figure 5, it shows the behaviors of the 104 participants from Barangay Port Puyuhon, Purok 3 and 6, in terms of their level of concerns. According to the graph, when asked about the necessity of being checked up before and after getting vaccine, we have 80 respondents say that they are very concerned about being checked up before and after getting vaccine, followed by 15 respondents who are somewhat concerned, 7 respondents who are slightly concerned, and 2 respondents who are not concerned about being checked up. Then lastly, our last figure, according to the graph in Figure 6, we have 61 respondents are extremely concerned about the vaccination rate in their barangay, followed by 26 respondents who are somewhat concerned, and then 17 respondents who are slightly concerned, and we've got no respondents or participants who are not concerned about the vaccination rate of Barangay Port Puyuhon. So in our summary, most participants' decision-making process and reluctance to get vaccinated in Purok 3 and 6 Barangay Port Puyuhon has been linked to income, educational background, medical condition, and marital status. Well, the majority is not hesitant to take the vaccination out of mistrust, but rather is eager to take the vaccine but is concerned about the negative effects of it.